Just looking for a phone. Huh? Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, just do it, Yeah. I tuned it to mic on. We'll get our stuff together soon. What are you doing?
She said I stepped on her foot.
Yeah, right.
Good morning.
Hey.
Please stand and join us in singing We Gather Here. One, two.
morning. Good morning and welcome to Unity of Stuart. Welcome into our beautiful sanctuary. And welcome to all of you who are here in the room, and welcome to all who are watching on Facebook. Linda, would you do me a favor so I don't have to get up again? Would you bring me my phone? I have a knee thing going on. I'm under doctor's care. I'll let you know when something gets resolved. All right, but enough about that. Good morning to those who are in the room. Good morning to those who are online. Let's see who is on Facebook. Well, we have Doreen and Jen. Good morning to you too. Rose, we have Terry and other people that I can't see. Good morning, Terry. Good to see you. And for those who are usually on YouTube, we see Lana and Jess and Phil and Pam and Ann and Tony and Irma. Welcome everybody who is online watching us. As always, we have with us the Joyful Noise Band and Choir, and our special music today features our Joyful Noise Choir, so get ready for that. Also, anytime you see these instruments up here, you'll know that Doreen is facilitating our meditation, and she'll be doing that with a vibrational voyage today. And if you are interested in having a vibrational voyage with Doreen, she is having two this weekend, Friday the 24th at 7 o'clock and Saturday the 25th at 5 p.m. And so if you like what this does to your body and soul today, you might want to hit her up after service to get more details about how to get involved with that. And it's time to welcome first-timers. If anybody is in the sanctuary for the first time today and you would like Mary Claire or Ricky to bring you a welcome packet, please raise your hand so they can see who you are. Anybody like a welcome packet today? All right, back there, Mary Claire. Anybody else? Sophia? Oh yeah, Sophia's got a friend with her in the video booth. So he would like a welcome packet, or she would like him to have one. I'm not quite sure which it is. So in that welcome packet, you'll find some information about our Unity movement in general and some information about Unity of Stuart. You'll also find a form that if you fill it out and take it back to the welcome podium, we'll put you on our mailing list unless you expressly tell us not to. And then you'll get a gift from Hildy. We'll be happy to give you a gift. And if you're online and you would like a welcome packet, you can email Eva at admin@unityofstuart.org, and she will be delighted, I say, absolutely delighted to send you a welcome packet. There's also a prayer intention or a request form in that packet. If you take that, if you have a prayer need, anything at all, a joy or a challenge, you fill out that form, and there is a beautiful wooden box in the foyer, and you can put your prayer intention in there, and we'll hold it in prayer here, and we send it off to the mothership at Silent Unity, where they will pray over it there as well. Most importantly, we'd like everyone to know that we are a practical, affirming, positive path of spirituality. Everyone is welcome here, no exceptions. And not only that, you honor us with your presence, and you lift up the consciousness of the world by living this conscious spiritual life. So thank you for being here. Here's our, who's the boardie of the day? David? We show you this so that you see who our board members are. And unfortunately, we will have to say goodbye to Hildy. Hildy's big job has gotten even bigger since she became a board member. And she needs to concentrate on that. And this May will be her last board meeting. And so where are you, Hildy? Do I see you somewhere? So we let you go with sadness and with joy in the knowledge that you know how to take care of yourself. So the board will be looking to appoint a new board member. If you have been a member for at least 6 months and you have already been serving in Unity of Stuart in some capacity and you'd like to have a conversation with any one of us about what being a board member means, we invite you to take a good look at those board members. We are all here today. You can also talk to me and let us know. And so of course we'll be talking about that more and more as our board meeting comes up. Unity Basics class is today, so if you have nothing better to do this afternoon after church and you haven't already signed up, I do have extra materials in case a few more people show up. Come and join us. We'll be in the sanctuary at 12:30, and we'll spend a couple of hours together talking about Unity principles. and Unity history and all that good stuff. And you are also eligible for membership if you take that class. Coming up on May 31st is our next Connected Souls concert, what we refer to as our coffee house concert with Connected Souls. That's on the 31st at 6:30. And this month, the band is dedicating the concert to Chuck Chase, who actually, I was going to say made his transition, but I'm talking about death today. And I'm going to actually say the actual word, that Chuck died last week. And so we'll be celebrating Chuck's life at the Connected Souls concert on May 31st, and then at the actual celebration of life service here in the sanctuary on June 8th at 3 p.m. Everyone is invited to attend. And also inviting those who will attend, if you'd like to, we're going to treat this as a bit of a potluck. If you'd like to bring some food, because I let Ro know that the church, Ro is Chuck's wife, that we would be taking care of the food. There is a sign-up sheet out on the information table. If you are going to be here and you'd like to bring something to share, you can sign up there so we know how much we'll have to fill in here. So, Chuck. We do have prayer chaplains on duty today, and there they all are. And today's prayer chaplains are Nancy Bach, who is at the bottom left, and Audrey Noel, who is in the bottom right. And they will be in the sanctuary after service to pray with anyone who would like some prayer support and some personal prayer. As I said earlier, a joy, a challenge, anything at all. Nancy or Audrey would be happy to pray with you and to hold your prayer in the highest confidence. And for everyone, we have an email address, prayer@unityofstuart.org, if you'd like to email in a prayer. And we also have a Silent Unity prayer line, which again is at our home office. That's right outside of Kansas City. And you can call there for prayer. They don't do live prayer overnight anymore. But, okay, don't worry about it, Sophie. It's all good. But you can call that number if you'd like prayer. So we are talking about death today. And so I invite you to join me in dedicating today's service to living life fully. In this present moment, I live, breathe, and have my being in spirit. Life takes on new meaning for me when I realize that each present moment is part of the divine eternal now. When I live in the present, I have no regrets about the past. I bless the past but have no desire to relive it by continually recalling what happened in it. All that has gone before has brought me to this present moment. My thoughts and attitudes in the now help prepare me for a positive future. My ability to deal with what is ahead of me is determined by how I use today's opportunities. Doors that seemed closed to me in the past may open today. New opportunities to love, forgive, and understand are eternally mine in this now moment. My life is filled with sublime experiences. Yet, even the everyday occurrences, those that may seem routine, hold a blessing. I recognize that activities like maintaining my house or paying my bills are important and honorable. I remain centered in each moment and give thanks for the resources that provide for my needs. Beyond the ordinary, I say yes to the rising sun and the stars that fill the night sky. I say yes to the laughter of a child and to the memories of a childhood long ago. I recognize the beauty and sacredness of every moment. As I focus on this moment, my day flows and things happen in timely ways. And I find myself saying yes to each one. And once again, a deep breath, if you please, as we settle into this now moment. And I invite you to feel your breath coming in through your nostrils. I invite you to hear that beautiful sound of the babe in the room, the sound of the music, feeling your feet on the floor. In this now moment, we are grateful, and we say yes to life. And so it is. Amen. And let's affirm that together. I say yes to life. And take another deep breath as we breathe in that affirmation. As we affirm one more time together. I say yes to life. And so it is. Amen. Let's sing as we prepare for meditation.
So I invite you, if you're comfortable, to close your eyes and focus on your breath and the sounds and vibrations that will soon begin to fill the room. And just allow yourself to be as open as possible to take in these soothing sounds.
And now, as we have immersed ourselves in this vibration, I invite us to bring into our awareness all of those that are on our prayer list here at Unity of Stuart, and all those who are in our minds and hearts this morning. And if you are so inclined, you'd like to speak those names or situations out into this holy space, please do that now. And turning it all over into the care and keeping of the one, I invite you to join me in praying this in the name, in the nature, in the light, in the love of the indwelling Christ consciousness. And so it is. Amen. Thank you, choir. Thank you, joyful noise. Thank you, band. Before I get into the lesson, I have to talk about the word God, as I do every now and then, especially when we sing a song like that, right? There's nobody like God, and I'm talking about my God. And so when I think about the word God, I think about the mystery that cannot be defined. So that which we call God is a mystery. So I invite you as we go through and you hear that word God every now and then in our community is to think about what's your own personal, I call it a personal theology. What is God to you? And if you grew up like I did, that God was something outside of you, some person that judged, condemned, and or maybe blessed, you might want to start to be curious about what that feels like to you, and maybe start thinking about it in a little bit of a different way. But the short version is that the word God here is shorthand for the mystery, or divine love, or divine life. And so I just invite you to just contemplate that for a little while after the lesson. This is the third part in our series called The Wisdom of I Don't Know. We've been talking about the uncertainties of life. And we're looking at embracing uncertainty and not trying to push it away. We're looking at, last week we looked at managing our expectations and how to cultivate intention rather than a rigid expectation. And of course you can see all of these videos on our website, on Facebook and or YouTube. So today we look at the big uncertainty. That death is the big uncertainty. Everyone in this room, everyone within the sound of my voice, everyone on our planet will die. No exceptions. And none of us knows when or how. So today we'll look at the unknowns of death and dying. We'll look at heaven and hell. We'll dip into reincarnation. We'll look at what it's like to have a good death. And how do we mindfully incorporate these uncertainties about the end of life into our living life so we can live life more fully? But first, after a long illness, a woman died and arrived at the gates of heaven. While she was waiting for St. Peter to greet her, she peeked through the gates, and she saw a beautiful banquet table. And sitting all around that table were her parents and all the other people who she had loved and died before her. They saw her, began calling greetings to her. "Hello, how are you? We've been waiting for you. It's so good to see you." So when St. Peter came by, the woman said to him, "This is such a wonderful place. How do I get in?" He said, "You have to spell a word." "And which word?" And St. Peter said, "Love." Well, the woman correctly spelled love, and St. Peter threw open the gates and welcomed her into heaven. Now, about 6 months later, St. Peter came to the woman and asked her to watch the gates of heaven for him that day. While the woman was watching the gates of heaven, her husband arrived. She said, "Oh, it's so good to see you. How have you been?" And he said, "Well, I'm doing pretty well since you died. I married the beautiful young nurse who took care of you while you were ill. And then I won the lottery. And I sold the little house you and I lived in, and I bought a big mansion. And my wife and I have traveled all around the world. Well, we were on vacation today, and I went water skiing, and I fell, and the ski hit my head, and here I am. How do I get in?" She said, "You have to spell a word." "Which word?" her husband said. "Czechoslovakia," she said. You know, I don't remember thinking much about heaven when I was a kid. I was too worried about going to hell. I was too worried that I was going to do something wrong and go straight to hell in that handbasket we've all heard about. But when I was younger, when I began to think about my own personal theology and thinking about heaven, I like to think that heaven was a place where I would see my parents and all the relatives and loved ones that have gone before me. and I'd be with them in love and in peace and in eternal joy. But I couldn't really wrap my head around what that might look like, right? Because I would want to be with my mother and father. My mother was his second wife. He married after she died. So he's got 3 wives, and where would the other 2 wives fit in the picture? I could never parse out what that would look like. But I just knew that we would live eternally together in some large kitchen in the sky, with spaghetti sauce simmering on the stove and my brother good-naturedly teasing me. Maybe I'd revert to a child and just sit on my mother's lap while she played Scrabble with my aunt. And if that's my idea of heaven, does it match what my mother's idea of heaven is? Or my brother's, or my father, or anybody else that I'd like to see? Does it match? So that's one of the great mysteries. The master teacher, Jesus, tells us repeatedly that heaven is right here. And not only is it right here, but it's a state of consciousness. He said, the kingdom of heaven is at hand, right here. It's in the midst of us. It is within us, closer than our hands and feet. And our co-founder, Charles Fillmore, said this: heaven is a state of consciousness in which the soul and body are in harmony with divine mind. Think about that for a minute. A state of consciousness where the soul and body are in harmony with divine mind. And that we teach in Unity that prayer we don't pray to change God, that which we call God. We don't pray to beg for things and to change the mind of some mythical creature in the sky. What we do is we pray to align ourselves with the divine infinite, with divine love, with divine compassion. And so we walk around, if we want to, we walk around in heaven. Now, hell, in our Unity teaching, is not a place of torment where people are eternally punished with fire, for heaven's sake. Ha, pun not intended. Because of their beliefs. We don't get tormented because of our beliefs or our actions. It is not a place to go after death. Again, it's a state of consciousness right here and right now. We create our own states of consciousness. Fillmore wrote, one does not have to die in order to go to hell, any more than one has to die to get to heaven. Both are states of mind and conditions which people experience as a direct outworking of their thoughts, beliefs, words, and acts. If one's mental processes are out of harmony with divine law, they result in trouble and sorrow. Mental as well as bodily anguish overtakes one, and this is hell. So, state of consciousness. If we're walking around resentful and unforgiving and feeling like a victim, guess where we're living in that moment? We are. Thank you, Sandy. We're living in hell. So, heaven and hell are states of consciousness that we experience right here and now. So, what happens after death then? Do we come before a tribunal of angels that decides if we have to go back to learn more lessons, living life after life until we get it right? And that's what our Hindu and Buddhist siblings believe. Our co-founder, Myrtle Fillmore, said this. She says, it will help you to know that souls keep on being re-embodied as children until they come into Christ consciousness and understanding the law of life and coming into the light of truth. We give up many of our old conceptions of God and of ourselves and of life here and hereafter. So that's not something you hear a lot about the Unity teaching, is that both Myrtle Fillmore and Charles Fillmore did believe in reincarnation. And here's another thing of a great spiritual giant, spiritual teacher Joel Goldsmith talked about our present life being a parenthesis in time. He said, life is depicted as a circle representing eternity with no beginning and no end. We can view our lives as parentheses within that circle, the first parenthesis being birth, and the second being our death. It's important to note that we are encompassed within eternity, and perhaps we have many different parentheses in time. He says, we have come from somewhere and are going somewhere, and this will go on and on. So that's another. So this is what I think about reincarnation. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. And that's it. It's a mystery. It's all a mystery. Will we become one with all that is? Will we become pure love, which is my personal favorite right now? And we add our consciousness of love to the consciousness of one love, and we just melt into that. And we just are love. Or is the afterlife exactly what each one of us thinks it is, and we get whatever we expect? Or do we eternally live in the consciousness that we carried when we lived on this planet? And if that scares you, don't worry, you still have time, if that's the truth. So I generally don't worry what's going to happen when I die. I don't worry about what it's going to be like, even though I would like to see my mom again, and I'd like to be reunited. But what it feels like I know for sure that whatever else it is, it's wrapped in love, period. I don't need to parse it. I don't need to worry about it. I can just know that whatever comes after is wrapped in love. What I do know for sure, while I'm in this body, on this planet, that I am called to live in expanded consciousness, that I'm called in a conscious spiritual life to continually do the work necessary to expand my consciousness of love, to expand my consciousness of compassion and forgiveness, beginning with myself, right? Beginning with ourselves, we are called to expand our consciousness. We get this conscious life, this piece of it that we're in right now, in this place that we're in right now, with the people that we're with right now. That's what our life is, yes? And what do we choose to do with that? How do we choose to live? Because one day we'll be gone from this life. Each of us is going to die. That is a fact. And the question is, what do we do with that knowledge? How do we live knowing we'll die and we don't know when? How do we live in the face of our own mortality? So I invite you just to take a minute and go within and think about your life right now. How loving are you to yourself? How compassionate are you with yourself? How forgiving are you? And then I invite you to look beyond self. How do you show up in the world? How do you hold the chaos and the challenges and the uncertainties? How are you living right now? Do you like your state of consciousness? Are you living primarily in heaven or primarily in hell? It could be a mix of both, obviously. Henry David Thoreau said this: to live deliberately, to live deep and suck out the marrow of life, and not, when I came to die, discover that I had not lived. That's what we aim for, right? To live fully and completely and well while we're here. And that takes work. That takes practice. And we are called to look at our mortality, to let it inform us of how we're going to live. And it's not easy in this culture, because everywhere you look, there's 20 ways to live longer, 20 ways to look younger, 20 ways to do this, 25 ways to do that, right? This culture wants to deny death. It tries to pretend that death is a problem that can be fixed, or at least postponed to another day. So we tend to resist the idea of our mortality. And I think that that's changing, at least a little bit in my world, that it seems to be changing, that there's more conversation of people coming to terms with death and to accept the reality of our own mortality. And what we know in conscious spiritual life, that as we accept what is in our lives, including death, the greater our capacity is to love others and to live a full life while we're here, and to let the rest go. The poet Mary Oliver wrote this: "To live in this world, you must be able to do three things: to love what is mortal, to hold it against your bones, knowing your own life depends on it, and when the time comes, to let it go." To let it go. One of you in the spiritual community sent me this TED Talk a couple of weeks ago, which made a big impact in my thinking about death and dying. And the TED Talk, I'm going to play you two excerpts from it in a moment, is by Alua Arthur. And Alua Arthur is a death doula. Now, if you don't know what a doula is, it's somebody who guides you through something. Like there's birth doulas, there's new infant doulas, and they just help the mother, help through birth. I had a birth doula. One of my good friends is a doula, and she was at the birth of Sophia and helped me through that. And so there are death doulas, and here is Alua Arthur talking about life.
I sit deep in the trench with folks as they prepare for death. There's no fixing or saving anything because there's no fixing or saving grief or death. It just is. I meet people where they are at. My goal is to help them answer the question, what must I do to be at peace with myself so that I may live presently and die gracefully, holding both at the same time? When I'm thinking about my present life from the vantage point of my graceful death, I can see very clearly who I want to be, how I want to spend my time, and what of me I'll leave behind. It allows me to consciously curate my life right now and also figure out my little whys right now, because what are we waiting for anyway? Like, death? She was also really curious about her legacy. What, if anything, she'd leave behind. But leaving a legacy isn't optional. We're doing it every single day. You're doing it with every smile, every word, every kind word, every harsh word, every action, every inaction, every dollar you spend. You're telling the people who are paying attention exactly who you are, and that is what they'll tell of you when you are gone. At her funeral, despite all of her career accomplishments, nobody talked about any of that. They talked about who she was. Nobody cared about what she'd done. When we focus on our productivity, we highlight what we have to do to feel worthy, rather than who we get to be, where worthiness is our birthright, and we are human. We're human. We're human. Messily, magically, fantastically, beautifully, briefly, perfectly human.
What do you think of that? She said some other things in that video. She said, "A good death is when I go into the ground, essentially clean of regrets and resentments, sufficiently serene, and with my goodbyes in order. Do you or I have something we want to say, be, or do before we die? If so, let's get to it as soon as possible. What are we waiting for?" Right? So when she was talking about the legacy, and I've thought about this before. I've been in many workshops in my life, and at least 1 or 5 of them, the question, I've had to write my own eulogy and think about what I want people to say about me when I'm gone. So have you ever thought about that? Have you ever thought about what you want people to say about you? This is your totally made-up homework right now. Go write your eulogy, and then see how it fits into how you're showing up in your life right now. So the basic part of my eulogy would be, the first thing was, I'm so grateful that my children love me. All right? I'd like people to say that I loved and I was loved, that I lived consciously and helped show people the way to love and compassion. I'd like someone to say at my funeral that I said yes to life and yes to love. So I invite you, as you go through this week and this life, to think about this legacy, to think about what it is your life is saying about you right now. And if you love that, go out and do more of that. And if you're thinking, well, then do the work necessary so that you can live the life that you choose to live right now, so that you can walk, 90% of your life in heaven. Right? I mean, let's go for 100%, but that feels a little bit unrealistic to me to always be in the heaven consciousness. And what I know about myself, and you probably know about yourself on this spiritual journey, that you're a little bit more in heaven this year than you were last, and maybe a little bit more than the year before. So I invite you to think about that. Think about what heaven is to you. Think about your legacy, and think about living your life as fully as you are able. And I want to end with a quote from the Unitarian minister Forrest Church, who, when he wrote this, he was facing his own imminent death. He said, "For us to be here in the first place, for us to earn the privilege of dying, more than 1 billion accidents took place. Even the 1 in a million sperm's connection with the equally unique egg is nothing compared to everything else that happened from the beginning of time until now to make it possible for us to be here. What a luxury we enjoy, wondering what will happen after we die, even what will happen before we die. Having spent billions of years in gestation, present in all that preceded us, fully admitting the pain and difficulty involved in actually being alive, able to feel and suffer, grieve and die, we can only respond in one way, with awe and gratitude. May we all live fully while we're here. Namaste." And now is the time when we about what we call our celebration of abundance, a celebration of your abundance and also ours. That as you give your gifts and your tithes, your love offerings, as you have given gifts of your service, I invite you to feel the gratitude that we have for all of that here. Because not only does it allow us to continue to do our work, it raises the consciousness of the world, and we are grateful. I always want to say thank you to our consistent givers. So you can see up there, and if you're online, it is below the video. And as you are preparing, let us affirm our prosperity prayer and our love offering blessing together. In a universe overflowing with the allness of God, all of the needs of Unity of Stuart and those we serve are instantly, constantly, and bountifully met. From every direction, known and unknown, expected and unexpected, our abundance comes to us now. We are grateful. Amen. And our love offering blessing together. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I give and receive always in love. Let's sing about it.
1, 2.
I got an attitude, I got an attitude, I got an attitude of gratitude. I thank the universe for each new day, whether it's sunny or it's pouring rain. In any situation
you. I don't know if you saw me looking through my script here, but I somehow deleted a joke I wanted to tell, so I'm going to tell it right now. Let's see if I can remember it, because up until now, that has not been a talent I have. So a little girl was in Sunday school, and they were talking about, dust, about death, and the teacher said, well, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Everybody goes back to dust. And so little girl goes home, and she's looking underneath her bed, and her mother says, what are you looking for? She said, I don't know, but somebody's either coming or going. Let's stand. Oh, wait, no. Announcements. Sonia's yoga last class is this Wednesday, and then it's on a summer break. We'll come back in August. Nancy Miller is doing some yoga on, I don't even know what day, Tuesdays and Thursdays. I don't know the time. I'll let you know next week. Unity Basics class. And here we go. Okay, kiddos, let's stand as we sing our kiddos in.
1, 2, 3.
We are walking in the light, in the light, in the light. We are walking in the light of God. We are walking in the light, in the light, in the light. We are walking in the light of God. In the light of God.
All right, please be seated. All right. First of all, Cadence has the microphone. I want everybody to say congratulations, Cadence. She just graduated high school. She just graduated high school. All right. What you got going on in there, Cadence?
Tacos.
All right.
Taco Sunday. Yeah.
Our youth fundraisers fund them going to rallies and retreats where they can meet, I don't know, anywhere between 50 and 100 other kids who are doing the same work they do on Sundays. And also, I want to bring your attention to empty paper. How are we doing with paper towel rolls? Pause. Pause on paper towel rolls. I'll take that off for next week. 2-liter bottles we still need? Yes. And masking tape we need. So lots of masking tape. Lots of 2-liter bottles. Anything else, Jen, you want to share?
So I don't have a date yet, but I'm working on my next fundraiser being at Culver's. So I love Culver's. All you have to do is come to Culver's and have dinner and then leave. And Culver's will give our youth group a percentage of their sales. So I'm really excited about trying something a little different, but it'll be fun. And our older kids, 6th grade and up, will have an opportunity to serve you and be in the dining room and like cleaning tables. So we're excited.
All right, terrific.
I'll give you the date. It's
Do
coming up.
concrete mixers
June.
count as dinner?
Does ice cream count as dinner? Yeah. Okay. Ice cream for dinner day. All right.
Concrete mixer.
Let's bless our kiddos in song together.
We love you. We bless you. We truly, truly appreciate you. We behold the Christ in you.
And we'll close with the prayer for protection and the peace song. And please be mindful of those who don't wish to hold hands. Together, the light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever I am, God is. I am divine. Let's sing.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.